still feel like you're kind of waiting for your personal 2025 to really kick off.
Yeah, like you're putting in all the effort, right?
Totally. You're battling the AI wave, everything changing so fast, but those big breakthroughs, they just feel stuck.
Right. And maybe the issue isn't just about working harder. What if it's deeper? Like something about your fundamental wiring.
Exactly. And that's where we're headed today. Welcome to the deep dive. We pull out the key stuff you need to know fast.
And today, think of this as your rapid fire 2025 transformation plan. We're leaning heavily on Karl Albrecht's ideas around social intelligence.
Right. This isn't just another pep talk. It's more like a practical guide or rewiring project almost for how you connect and, actually succeed in this crazy fast world.
Precisely. So our mission for this deep dive, give you a step-by-step approach. We want to help you sharpen your focus for real presence, cut through the digital noise.
And hard code that genuine authenticity that AI just can't fake.
Yes, and communicate with real clarity, plus master empathy, which is becoming like a key advantage.
And the core of this whole rewiring plan is Albrecht's S.P.A.C.E formula.
That's the blueprint, S.P.A.C.E.
Okay, let's dive straight in. First up, that's for situational awareness.
Right. And Albrecht's take on this is basically the ability to read situations and interpret the behaviors of people in those situations.
So it's not just seeing what's happening, it's getting the why behind it.
Exactly. And look, in 2025, this isn't a nice-to-have skill anymore. It's pretty critical.
Why so urgent now?
Well, think about how much we interact through screens. All those little nonverbal cues, the slight nod, the way someone shifts their weight, they often get lost or at least muted online.
Yeah, you miss a lot.
You do. And AI, it can process data, sure, but it can't feel that hesitation in someone's voice over Zoom or sense the unspoken tension in a virtual meeting. Our own read-the-room skills can actually get a bit rusty with all this digital overload.
Misreading things can cost you, right? Deals, opportunities.
Big time. So being able to truly sense the atmosphere, whether you're in the room or on a call, that's a huge edge now.
Okay, so we need to upgrade that 2025 radar. How do we actually rewire for this, especially with so much screen time?
Albrecht gives us some good practical stuff. First is something we can call the pre-interaction prime.
Okay.
Before any important interaction, could be a big call, a key meeting, even just writing a tricky email takes 60 seconds. That's it.
Just 1 minute?
Yep. Just pause, maybe close your eyes, and ask, what's the emotional vibe here? What pressures might the other person be dealing with silently? What do they really want or worry about? It's like a quick mental check of the emotional weather.
I like that. A quick emotional check-in. What else? How else do we boost this situational intelligence?
The second piece is keeping what you might call an AI blind spot journal.
Intriguing name.
Yeah, maybe once a week, just think back on an interaction where your gut, your human intuition, picked up on something subtle, something you just know AI wouldn't get.
Like what?
It's a slight pause, a shift in tone online, maybe even how someone phrased an email. Jot down those little cues and how they made you adjust your approach. It trains your brain to look for and value that uniquely human data.
So pay attention intentionally, then reflect on it.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Can you give us a real-world example of this in action?
Sure. Imagine a startup founder pitching to investors. Founder one just plows through their slides, totally missing the investors' crossed arms or exchanged glances.
Oblivious.
Totally. But founder two, they notice those subtle signs. They might pause and say something like, I'm getting a sense there might be some questions about our go-to-market strategy. Maybe we should dig into that now.
Okay. Addressing the unspoken.
Exactly. Founder two used that situational awareness to pivot, tackle the hidden concerns, and actually turn a potential no into a real conversation. That's the power of tuning in.
Right. It's about seeing how your message lands, not just delivering it.
Yeah.
Okay. S is sharpening our senses. What's next in the S.P.A.C.E formula?
Next is P for presence. Albrecht talks about things as the impression we make on others through our bearing, deportment, and behavior. Basically, how you show up.
How you show up. And in a world that feels designed to steal our focus constantly, actually being present feels almost radical. Why is presence such a big deal now in 2025?
Well, because our brains are literally being rewired for distraction, aren't they? Notifications, endless scrolling. It's constant.
It really is.
So genuine presence, that feeling that someone is completely with you, it's becoming rare. And because it's rare, it's incredibly valuable, magnetic even.
How so?
Well, think about it. If you're a creator, your audience knows instantly if you're just going through the motions. If you're a leader, your team needs your focused attention to feel secure and guided, especially with all the uncertainty. Presence builds trust like nothing else in this noisy world. Your full attention. That's gold.
Okay, sold on the why. How do we build this anti-distraction shield of presence?
Let's talk about building focused engagement circuits. Start simple with single focus blocks. Schedule maybe 2 30-minute blocks each day. Just pick one task or one conversation and commit to 0 distractions. That means phone silent, put it away, no switching tabs.
Oof, that sounds hard.
It is at first, but consciously practice active listening in those blocks, nod, make eye contact, even on video. Maybe quickly summarize what the other person said. It's like a mental workout. It gets easier.
A digital detox built into the day. I like it. What else for boosting presence?
Try using a presence anchor. Right before an important moment, big presentation, creative session, choose a simple physical anchor.
Like what?
Could be just feeling your feet flat on the floor or taking 3 slow, deliberate breaths. It's a quick technique to pull yourself out of the mental clutter and into the present moment, like hitting a reset button.
I've seen people like, say, Alex Hormozy, who just have this intense focus when they speak. Is that presence?
That's a perfect example. When someone like Hormozy talks, even on video, you feel like they're talking directly to you. That laser focus, that feeling of connection, it's not an accident.
It's practice.
It's absolutely a cultivated state of being fully engaged. It's about rewiring your brain to value that deep interaction over, skimming the surface of a dozen things.
All right, so we're tuning in with S, showing up fully with P. What's the A in S.P.A.C.E.?
A is for authenticity. Albrecht defines this as when your behavior is consistent with your intentions and your values. People see you as straight.
Straight, meaning like genuine, not putting on an act.
Exactly. What you see is what you get.
Okay, but in 2025, with perfectly curated online lives and deepfakes getting scarily good, why is being genuinely straight so important?
Because trust is becoming the absolute scarcest resource. With AI churning out content, people are desperate for real connection with actual humans, flaws and all.
Right, those hyper-polished online personas are starting to feel empty.
They really are. So your authentic, maybe even slightly messy self, that's a competitive edge AI can't copy. Trying to be someone you're not just burns you out and makes people suspicious anyway.
Authenticity is a defense against the fake.
And as a way to build real connection, your genuine self is valuable.
So how do we, hardwire this authenticity? It sounds good, but how do we do it?
Okay, let's call it the core alignment protocol. First step, a weekly values integrity check.
How does that work?
Just list your top, say, 3 core values, the things that really matter to you. Then look back at your big decisions or communications from the past week. Ask yourself honestly, did my actions line up with these values?
And if they didn't?
Notice where you compromised, and importantly, why. It's not about being perfect, it's about becoming more aware of those moments of misalignment. Conscious self-awareness.
That sounds like a really grounding practice. What's the other part of this protocol?
The second part is the vulnerability share. Now, this needs care, but maybe once a month, intentionally share something real.
Like what kind of thing?
A relevant struggle you overcame, a lesson learned from a mistake, something imperfect about your journey. Share it with your audience or your team, appropriately, of course.
Why do that? Isn't that risky?
It builds incredible connection. It signals that it's okay to be human. It encourages others to be authentic too. And honestly, it reinforces in your own mind that vulnerability isn't weakness, it's strength.
Yeah, I've definitely seen online creators who share the real stuff, the challenges alongside the wins, build super loyal followings. They feel more like guides you can relate to.
Exactly. That honesty just cuts through all the noise. It builds a much stronger bond than any perfect image ever could.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
S.P.A. We've covered situational awareness, presence, authenticity. What's C?
C is clarity. Albrecht defines this as the quality of your thinking, your ideas, and your communication, helping others understand what you mean.
Simple enough definition, but why is clarity so critical now, with information flying everywhere and attention spans, shrinking?
Because attention is the absolute currency of 2025. If your message to your team, clients, anyone is fuzzy, complicated, full of jargon, you've lost.
They just tune out.
Instantly. AI can generate endless words, but clear, sharp, human thinking and expression. That's what cuts through. Leaders, entrepreneurs, creators who can articulate their ideas with laser clarity. They're the ones who will capture attention and really thrive. Muddled message equals lost message.
So how do we get sharper? How do we boost our clarity?
We need a precision message modulator. 2 parts. First, the one-sentence distillation.
Okay.
Try this daily. For any key communication, an important email, a pitch point, even a social media post, force yourself to boil the absolute core message down to one compelling sentence.
Just one.
Just one. If you struggle to do it, that's a sign your thinking isn't quite clear enough yet. It's a great discipline.
Sounds tough, but effective. Like mental editing. What's the second?
The explain it like I'm 5 exercise. Try this weekly. Take a complex idea from your field, something you know well, and practice explaining it in super simple terms.
Like literally simple enough for a 5-year-old.
Pretty much. It forces you to ditch the jargon, get to the absolute core, and make it understandable. It really clarifies your own thinking, too.
You know, it makes me think of Steve Jobs. He could take complex tech and just nail it with simplicity. 1,000 songs in your pocket.
Perfect example. That wasn't just slick marketing. It came from a place of deep understanding and crystal clear thinking. That's why it resonated so powerfully.
Okay, S.P.A.C.E, almost there. We've done situational awareness, presence, authenticity, clarity. That leaves E, the final piece.
And E is for empathy. Albrecht describes empathy as the ability to connect with others, to appreciate their point of view, and to share their feelings to some extent.
Empathy. It feels like a soft skill, but you mentioned earlier it's becoming critical. Why now, especially with AI taking over so many tasks?
Because as machines handle the routine stuff, our human capacity for empathy, that becomes the premium skill. It's our superpower, really.
How so?
Understanding what your customer is really feeling, not just saying, sensing the morale of your team, even when they say everything's fine. Anticipating what the market truly desires on an emotional level, that's what drives real innovation.
And loyalty.
And loyalty, absolutely. And effective leadership. Empathy is the foundation of social intelligence. In a tech world, it's how you stand out, how you build things that matter to people. It's your human first advantage.
Okay, so how do we actively build up this empathy muscle? It feels important, but maybe less concrete.
We can make it concrete. Let's use the perspective shift rewire. 2 practices here. First, the day in the life visualization.
Sounds interesting. What is it?
Once a week, pick someone important, a key client, a team member, maybe a partner. Spend maybe 10 minutes actively imagining their day. What are their frustrations? What are they trying to achieve? See it from their perspective. Feel what they might be feeling. What do they really need?
That definitely forces you outside your own head. Powerful.
Yeah.
What's the second empathy practice?
It's about seek to understand questioning. In your daily conversations, especially if there's friction or disagreement, make a conscious effort to shift. Instead of planning your reply while they're talking,
Which we all do.
right. Instead, truly listen to understand their point of view, ask clarifying questions. Things like, help me understand why that's important to you, or what's the biggest hurdle this creates on your end? It literally rewires your brain to prioritize understanding over just reacting.
It reminds me of empathetic design thinking, where understanding the user's actual frustrations leads to products that just feel right, not just function well.
Exactly. When you connect with the human experience behind the problem, you create solutions that resonate deeply, that builds connections AI just can't replicate.
Wow. Okay, this has been incredibly insightful. So just to recap the S.P.A.C.E formula: situational awareness, presence, authenticity, clarity, and empathy.
That's the framework. And remember, 2025 isn't slowing down. It rewards people who adapt, who connect genuinely, who lead with real human intelligence.
So if you're feeling stuck, like you're just treading water,
It's not about your potential. It's probably a sign your brain just needs a bit of deliberate recalibration for this new reality we're in. S.P.A.C.E isn't just theory, it's your practical toolkit. It's about rewiring your mind to actually achieve what you're aiming for.
stop feeling overwhelmed, start rewiring.
Exactly. Start actively practicing these skills. Build a brain that works for your ambitions in 2025, not against them. And the power to do that rewiring, it's yours. Start now.
That's a really empowering way to end it. So, as you're thinking about everything we've covered in this deep dive, situational awareness, presence, authenticity, clarity, empathy, which one of those really sparked something for you? Which one made you think, that's something I need to work on?
And maybe more importantly, why that one?
Yes, why did it resonate? And then, the crucial step. What's one small, concrete action you can take, like today, to start consciously strengthening that specific area of your social intelligence. Because honestly, in a world that's more and more about algorithms, the depth and quality of human connection, that's going to be your greatest, most enduring advantage. Start building it.